Hey, what's going on, guys? Hope you're all doing great because we've got a fresh update to talk about for Tainted Grail, the Fall of Avalon. Now, this isn't one of those massive content drops, but it actually fixes some things that could seriously mess with your experience if you've been playing recently. So first up, one of the more noticeable fixes is the missing horse armor issue. If you've been riding around and something felt off or your gear just wasn't showing up properly, that's now been addressed. It might not sound like a huge deal at first, but for immersion and progression, it definitely matters, especially if you're investing into your mount. Now, the bigger fix, and honestly the one a lot of players will appreciate, is the issue with channeled spells and other recurring actions not registering correctly. This could really break combat flow, especially if you rely on abilities that need continuous input or tick over time. With this fix, those actions should now behave the way they were intended, making combat feel much more reliable and responsive. Moving on to the Sarras DLC, specifically Challenge Mode, there are some interesting adjustments here. Debuffs are now removed in preset gear areas, which makes those sections feel more balanced and less punishing in situations where you're already restricted by gear setups. At the same time, certain debuffs like Trial of Weakness will no longer reset when you load a save, which prevents players from bypassing intended difficulty just by reloading. And one of the more important long-term changes is that Challenge Mode stats will no longer reset when you enter the next New Game Plus cycle. That means your progression and the difficulty adjustments tied to it will carry forward properly, making the overall experience feel more consistent and meaningful as you keep playing. So overall, this update is really about tightening things up, fixing frustrating bugs, and making sure systems behave the way players expect. If you've run into any of these issues before, this hotfix should make your time in the game feel a whole lot smoother.